But Beyonce's dealt with it, and she made songs about it, and she's fine. And so, like,
that's actually his advice. I like Beyonce.
Hi guys.
Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat. What are you laughing at?
You really just amped yourself up for that one.
I never let anyone down. Okay, I can be on my deathbed and I will pull it out for this episode.
You were like, hi guys. Guys, happy May.
It's 83 degrees today. I walked out of the door. Yeah, bitch, it is. I walked out of the door and I was like, what is this on my body? Then I was like, I'm cloaked in heat.
I'll tell you what, I'm not ready.
She actually hates me hot.
You know? I will just complain that it's not spring, and then the second it gets too hot, I'm like, for this reason, I'm out.
But I can't listen, hot take, weather. May, it's always freezing. It's usually cold up until my birthday on June 17th, and then it's just unbearable in New York for 2 months.
Well, you know, that would track because that's the beginning of summer. Right at June 20th. That's when summer hits. So that would make sense. New York, all 4 seasons.
Weird. All right. Well, if you're listening to this today on Monday, we had 2 amazing shows with you guys in Miami last night. Back on the road for a Florida tour.
Yes. And like we said, if you guys are coming to Tampa on the 5th or Orlando on the 6th, and you have crazy, funny, hilarious dating, sex, relationship stories that you are okay with us sharing at the show, you can email them to us at hello@girlsgottaeatpodcast.com. Make sure to denote which show you are coming to, which city, which show time. And we'll see you there.
Yeah.
And thanks, Miami. Yeah. We love you.
We love
Hopefully.
you.
What if something terrible happened? We're like, we'll cut this. What if you broke up with your man at the show? All right. You know what?
What if, okay, so he's like,
Girls Gotta Eat gets canceled after Miami show. And we're like, we had a great time.
We are not doing this anymore. Well, I'm nervous because it's the first time that we're going to be on stage since the fall, and he is coming to the Miami show, which I'm like, how's this going to go? But it'll be fun.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
We're going to have him come to the later show because you never know. We're going to be a little bit rusty out of the gate.
Yeah, I already handled that this morning.
My aunt's coming to that one.
I love your family so much. All right, so you're a dog mom.
Okay, well, we're starting there.
Sure, you don't want to.
I thought you said you had a thing to tell me.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, speaking of this man, I had a funny interaction yesterday with the fan on the street. So you were having us all over on your patio for a nice evening. Me and Meryl and Jackie. You were setting up a nice charcuterie board. I was on my. You're the only person that's roasting this charcuterie spread. I was fine with it.
Fine, let's get into it. I have so many talents and so many skills, and that is not one of them.
I don't think it was bad. You put out some.
I'm joking.
I liked the crackers. I liked the cheese selection.
Also, do you want the full story?
Yeah, I want the full story.
The full story is I don't care. And it's like people have a real skill in making charcuterie boards and cutting the cheese and doing the meats and doing all this stuff. I just don't have it. And it's not something that I need to dedicate energy to. I'm going to leave it up to the people that do great at it. You are a master.
Thanks.
I don't need to do it. Like I can enjoy other people's, and I can throw some cheese on a cutting board and some meats when the time calls for it. So, but I will say, I feel like Trader Joe's has so many things for great entertaining. Like they have all those fun dips you can't find anywhere else. Their cheese selection's amazing. They have like great prosciutto, for example. I go down there and I get a basket full of stuff, all the stuff. I was really like gonna maybe try to step it up a little more. I got 2 types of crackers. I had like some fruit.
You did.
I then realized the line was literally starting in the cheese section, as in it wrapped around the entire store. I know that the Trader Joe's lines are crazy, but I go at like a very specific time. But I was like, there's no line on the street. Like maybe it's okay. I went in, I didn't see that line. As soon as I was like going to go get in line, it was snaked around the entire store. Like if you know that Trader Joe's, you know that when I say the cheese section, that's the entire store.
I never go to Trader Joe's. I don't believe in it. I don't like it. I hate the customer experience. There's never not a line of Trader. You don't go to Trader Joe's.
Well, you can't knock the customer experience. That Trader Joe's is a happy place.
Girl, those people
are incredible.
Being in line for 30 minutes is not my happy place.
So hear me out. I go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10:30, between 10:30 and 11 a.m. No line hardly ever, or like max there's 3 people in line. That's the hot spot if you want my tip. at noon starts to get a little dicey because people are on their lunch hour. So if you hit that between 10 and 11:15 on a weekday, you're good. So I do go there and I love Trader Joe's.
You heard it here first, guys.
I put everything back and went to Target. So
that was a Target board?
That was a Target board.
That's why you hated that board?
Target grocery board.
That's why you hated that board.
All Boar's Head cheese. They had one type of entertaining cracker and I got it. Just some salami.
Entertaining crackers in the entertaining section, entertaining cracker section.
It was in the chip aisle, but like I do think I hated that board extra because it was like full Target grocery.
You didn't tell us that. I didn't know.
I just don't understand like why it's you, if anybody, you roast me for everything else. You also have this extremely high bar for charcuterie, or so I thought. It's honestly, I'm a little disappointed that you even say that mine is acceptable.
Okay, so it's acceptable to me because I don't know that the experience of eating charcuterie is measurably better because someone has touched every single piece of charcuterie that's on that plate, especially during COVID times. Like if you individually separated and balled up each prosciutto like a little piece of gum, I don't know that makes my experience measurably better. There was food when I walked in the door. It was pleasingly laid out. There was alcohol.
Rosé
I brought a bunch of dips. The rosé was on ice.
I had an ice bucket.
Yep. You had 4 matching glasses. It was a nice night. I just don't care.
Okay. I just want to be very clear that then you this morning felt the need to post about it and then tag Jared Freed. So it's
I posted about it, thanking you for a lovely evening. And then you were like, I can't believe you're going to make fun of me. And then I asked Jared, and then he levied I don't even know what that was. It had nothing to do with anything. He said it was like a 25-year-old boy's charcuterie board.
He said, my charcuterie board looked like something a 25-year-old man would make. All I heard was 25-year-old. So I will take the compliment. Okay.
I think you want to fuck them. You don't want to be like them. That's not your mantra. Oh man, I want to be like a 25-year-old.
I didn't read past Ash Hess as a 25-year-old.
Well, okay. The point is, I took a walk before I came over your place. I was on these streets. I had a funny fan encounter. I was walking around. It was like 6:30 p.m. The streets were littered with people. Somehow I was on the phone. I started to have phone sex somehow.
What?
In public at 6:30 p.m. Listen, if you're quiet enough, you can have phone sex anywhere.
Oh my God.
I'm talking somebody through masturbating before a shower in the bathroom, and I'm like right in the middle of a sentence, and I'm like, and just before you come. And this girl runs up to me. I have my earpods in. I'm like listening to somebody beat off in my ears.
No.
And be like talking about my pussy and stuff. And this girl's like, oh my God, I'm such a fan. And I'm like shaken because I'm in one mode and I got to switch over to let's say hi to the listeners mode.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you're like, pussy's wet. You're like, I'm so sorry.
I'm dripping between my legs, walking around these streets. I have to tell him to hang on a second. And she's like, can I take a photo with you? And she hands her phone to her mom, who she's also with.
No, this did not happen.
A fan photo on the street while I'm in the middle of right before I make you come. I was so shook. I didn't even know what to say. I couldn't make eye contact with her and her mom. I had to like pause the sexting, and then he had to like listen to me take a fan photo while he's jerking off, which just would kill anybody's boner.
It depends on what you're into. That is incredible.
That was so fun. I can't wait to tell you.
Oh my God. I remember a guy that I still this day, best sexter ever. And we were sexting. I was home at night. I was like home sexting, masturbating. Mm-hmm. I fully came like first, like on the couch. I mean, not like on the
squirt
cushion,
on the couch. Yeah.
But and then come to realize later, he had just been out at the bar. Like, I was like, what'd you, this whole time, I thought he was on his couch. Like, I thought it was like, and then he would have been out with friends at a sports bar.
You weren't on the phone. You were just sexting?
We were just sexting.
Okay, well, I was at like Joe and the Juice.
You took it to another level.
Walking down
I'm not trying to one-up you. You do win.
No, that was crazy.
I will always think of that where I was like, oh, he's just home too. We're just doing this. And then.
Yeah, well, why would you think anybody was anywhere else? I mean, what a fucking weirdo to be walking around having phone sex at 6:30 p.m. on the street.
It's probably a little easier if you're like wearing a mask. People can't like see what your mouth is doing. Like you could probably be like having phone sex on the subway if you were quiet about it.
Are you out here having phone sex on the subway, you think? 2021, Ashley has phone sex on the A train.
No, I'm not even, like, it's been like so long since I've had phone sex. Like now you're just in like that mode all the time. Mm-hmm. You know how like, so I cycle around New York City. I like city bike. Like I love to ride bikes. Like I'm not really too scared to ride in Manhattan, but I would be really scared to like clip into a road bike. You clip your feet in. People that are really experienced they can clip in and ride around Manhattan all the time.
Wow.
So for
I love
example,
this analogy.
Rob, like my best friend, he is riding around Manhattan at all times, clipped in. It terrifies me that you would be clipped into a bike around Manhattan. But like, if you're experienced enough, you can do it wherever. So for you can be wherever and just go get into that mode. And you're having fun sex on the A train. You're clipped in. Rayna stays clipped in.
I don't even pause. That girl's like, you want to take a selfie? I'm like, yeah. And I just talked right through it. I was like, yeah, get that dick hard for
Exactly.
me.
And that's just same as Rob. He has clips on his loafers. Like he'll be around going to business meetings, clipping it and going.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That is so funny. Thank you so much. I'm so proud that this is my only skill.
Hashtag clipped in. Tag it. Okay. I have some news to share. We're going to share on the podcast.
Yes.
We have a new dog.
Bow, bow, bow. Should we say like bar?
No,
I'm trying to do like a dog sound. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So you texted me today when I was walking down the street and you said we have a new dog.
I know. Okay. I said it last week, you guys, that I was fostering with Animal Lighthouse, and I knew this dog that I was getting. I knew he was coming in from South Carolina. I knew his name was Azul, and I just fell in love with him. I mean, well, maybe not the first moment, but it is. He's so perfect. He's so wonderful. I was not planning to adopt a dog. I can't stress this enough. Like I said, I feel like you guys are like, of course you did. It's like, I swear, I don't even feel like this is the ideal time, but it's just him. I just fell in love with him. He's so special. You really love him. Like you have been, because I've waffled all week long. I've been like, I want to take this so seriously. I am not a person that is like, I'll get a dog. And if I don't like the dog, I'll rehome the dog. Like this is for life. Like this is, he's 5, allegedly. Could be 10 years of my life. I want to make sure that I'm in the right place in my life to do this. Or if, I have the resources when I go out of town, and I just want to make sure everything's in order to give him a good life. I took the decision very seriously. When I adopted Dewey, I did not. I was like, that's my dog and I love him and I have no money and I'm in my 20s. I was like 24, 25 and was like, I'm broke and I don't care. We're going to figure it out. And I don't regret it for a second, but I think it's just different. You think about things differently. You're like, okay, like I could have this dog until I'm 50 or whatever,
So you texted me today and you've been waffling over this all week, and you said like, do I feel like if it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no? And we talked about that, and you really went back and forth. And this is like such a, like you said, a decision that can affect your life for a very long time. It's not a job. It's not a boyfriend. It's not things you can sort of jettison and get rid of. And I just think that you felt like he brings so much joy to your life. And I just love him so much. I think he's so special. We went to brunch with him on Sunday and he just like didn't bark at anybody. He was good with the waiter. He just was like such a joy to be with.
He's really special. He's so, so wonderful. And of course, by now, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see plenty of Azul content. I'm keeping his name. That's his name. He knows it. He's, at least 5 years old. So I'm not going to change his name on him. Of course, we have nicknames for him. We're just call him everything in the book. We're like Azul, Azulio, Azuli, like everything. But I felt like I had a lot to work through this week. I'm still dealing with the loss of Dewey, like I'm still sad. I still miss him. And, of course, like I've said this before, a dog is not like a partner. You can have a bunch of dogs. You can lose a dog and you can go out and get another dog the next day. It's always good to save a life. That's why I'm such a proponent of adopt, don't shop. But I had so many mixed emotions. I was like, I don't want to forget about Dewey. I don't want to replace him. And that's not what I'm doing. And that's not what it is, of course. And people know that when they've gotten, when they've lost a pet and gotten another one, but I just had a lot to work through, and my feelings on the whole thing. And travel's going to pick back up. Is this the right kind of dog that can go to my parents and be cool, or go to a sitter? Like, he is really cool and doesn't really have separation anxiety. I think he's going to be like a perfect dog. But I just every day, you've been along on so many of these roller coasters with me. This is just like one of many where it's like, I'm not, because for me, when I make a decision like that, like I'm fully committed. So I just wanted to make sure to make the right decision. And I literally started the morning with like, no, I don't think I'm going to do it. And then I was just like, what am I doing? I love this animal. He looks like he's home. We went to the dentist. We got his teeth fixed. Like, he's my dog.
I think you thrive with an animal in your home. I think that you don't love being home alone. I like the way that I do. I think you like being home with an animal. I think you like snuggling with him. I think you like taking walks with him and meeting people through him. I think you're a dog girl, and I think that you're a person that should be a pet owner. And I think that the pros outweigh the cons, and you'll figure it out. And I think that you made the right decisions for his life too.
Yeah, I know. I'm just excited. I think he's going to have such a good life. And you really, like, even when I told you, I thought I was going to get a different response from you when I said, I don't think I'm going to keep him. I thought you were going to be like, you're right. You made the right decision. It's not a good time. You were like, really? I was like, Rayna.
I just think he brings you a lot of joy. I know that you'll figure it out. Like, and I know that you wouldn't choose to keep an animal if you couldn't give him a good life, you know? And I think that he brings a lot of joy to my life. So I'm happy that we have him. I cried on the street. Look at him.
Look at him. He's just like sitting behind me. Okay, guys. Well, Azul, welcome to the family.
Yeah,
Girls got to eat the snack head.
Yay.
All right.
Look out for his little merch.
Yeah. Oh my God. Also, while we're here, you had the funniest thing about me upgrading Azul with how we're talking about upgrading a man today. Like, I'll tell you what, when Azul came out of that car, I was like, oh, we got you.
You like, he smells so bad. And I was like, is that normal? And they always drop him off like
so
that. You have to mansplain animals to me so often.
So he came from his owners, but the stories of his owners were arrested anyway. He was in a shelter, but then he came up here, flew up here. Like, they just get really dirty. Who knows what was happening in the shelter? He smelled really bad. He had a lot of dander, and his teeth, his mouth is all fucked up. And at this point, he has been to the dentist. But it was 9:30 in the morning, and I called my grooming place immediately, and I was like, "Can we come in?" And it wasn't even as simple as a bath. Like, they had him for 2 hours. They had to power clean him.
Okay, I don't know how stuff works.
And so, for that hour, they had to power wash him. For that hour, we just sat on the patio. I was like, you cannot be in the house. And then he came. He was fresh as new. He's got this silky black coat. Like, he's got a good coat, and he was all clean. He was good to go. And they were like, he was perfect. We brushed his teeth. We clipped his nails. We did all the things. But he needed upgraded immediately.
Yeah, he got out of that car. You upgraded him like a boyfriend. All the cosmetic things. It's like, you can make them start showering, get a skincare routine.
I wanted to touch him, but I was really just gentle. I was like, oh, Azul.
Guys, let the record show Ashley just touched me. This is our one touch per quarter.
Okay, so that's that. I have 2 recs.
Okay.
I'm just going to start. Have you watched Younger?
Oh, I did start Younger.
Okay.
It's so weird because I haven't watched it for so long, and you binge on a show and you don't watch it for a year. I watched the first 3 episodes. I had a hard time getting back into it.
You did?
After so long. But I like the show. It's light. It's easy.
Okay. Anyway, Younger, if you guys aren't familiar, we talk about it a lot, but it's in its final season, and they're releasing the episodes on Hulu. So maybe there's 5 now, but when I watched it, there were 4 on Hulu. They released the first 4, and then maybe they're fucking Hulu, you know how they roll. They'll release 1 a week now. They always
6
do this
are
to
out.
us.
Yeah.
Oh, 6 maybe out. Okay. Anyway, I've watched 4 at this point. I like to watch them in at least 2 at a time because they're 20 minutes. I still love it. I still love the show. I'm sad that it's the last season.
I think all of them look great, by the way. Hilary Duff, go off.
Well, she might get a spinoff, Hilary Duff. I love her character.
Really?
I read a rumor about her getting her own spinoff, about her and the publishing industry.
But Ashley and I love the show. We've watched every episode. It's just a nice, easy, light watch. I am rooting for Josh. I hope they end up together. They can't end the series with her not ending up with Josh. So that's my prediction.
There's a hot outdoor shower scene.
What?
She goes to the Hamptons.
I haven't
gotten there?
No.
Maybe that was before. Anyway.
Damn. Okay.
I love outdoor shower.
No one loves an outdoor shower more than Ashley.
So I'm like, do I want to fuck in the outdoor shower though? Because I don't really love shower sex. Do I want to taint an outdoor shower experience with sex?
Listen, I think that an outdoor shower sex might be nice. Okay, here's why. Because typically the surroundings are wood, which I find easier to grab onto.
Yeah. There's a lot of wood.
Yeah, there's a ton of wood in me and around me. I don't love shower sex because I never have anything to grip onto. And so I'm just we're just standing here, and I'm a midget, and I'm not a normal height to have shower sex with anybody.
Yeah.
And so I don't love it, but I would do an outdoor shower.
But not all outdoor showers are created equal. Let's be clear, because I will get in any of them. If I don't care if it looks dirty, if I'll just stand in the middle, I got to get in there. Yeah. I don't have any if it's outdoors, I'm in there.
Yeah, and your dad mentioned that there was one at the beach house at Matt's wedding, and it was cold as shit. And you were like, yeah, maybe I'll do it.
I know. I'll go home if it hits 60 degrees, my parents have one, and I'm like, Dad, can I get in an outdoor shower. He's like, Ashley, it's March. I haven't hooked it up for the season yet. Like, it's just
Your
like,
dad's so rugged.
I love an outdoor shower so much. But maybe one day I'll fucking one. We'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. I have another rec I'm so obsessed with. You know, when you find a show, like for example, when I found The Bold Type, there was so much of it to watch. Like this feels like similar. There's only 2 seasons, but there's a whole lot of episodes. And this is All American. It's a CW show about high school.
You stan a high school show.
CW teen show.
Built for Ashley.
Just, yeah. But it's on Netflix. You know who recommended this to me? And I feel like this isn't going to resonate with the audience as much as it will with you, but it's crazy who recommended something to me that I hadn't heard of, and that's Meryl. Because Meryl stays behind the times.
Okay, you guys all have a Meryl in your life, okay? She doesn't know about gossip. She doesn't know about, like, she'll tell you about everything happening in the world.
Oh,
she'll
she's
tell you
brilliant.
about world peace. She'll tell you how to speak 7 languages. But, like, gossip, reality TV news, television, pop culture, hell no.
No, I remember the time Meryl was like, sent me this song, and she was like, I think this is going to be the song of the summer. I was like, bitch, this has been on TikTok for 3 months. The challenge is over. This song is so old. Like, that's an example. So I saw Meryl for the first time. She's been gone for like 3 months. We had this little wine tasting thing a couple weeks ago, and she was like, oh my gosh, you know what I started? All American. And I go, I don't know that show, which was crazy because she said it like I should know. Bottom line, I'm obsessed with it, guys. I'll just give you a quick rundown. It's about this high school football player from Crenshaw, which is a neighborhood in Los Angeles County. If you know that, I mean, people sometimes would compare like Crenshaw to Compton. It's a lower income neighborhood. Gangs are prominent, were prominent. I assume still there is like gang violence. And I say that just to kind of describe the premise of the show. It's this high school football player, and he gets recruited, which like is illegal in high school, but whatever. Gets recruited by the coach, who is played by Taye Diggs. So Taye Diggs is like kind of the star, to go play in Beverly Hills. So to literally go play, he was from a school kind of in the hood to go play in like the, you know, arguably like the richest neighborhood in Los Angeles. So he goes to Beverly High. And then it's just his experience at the school, you know, just general high school drama, like everything you'd want in a show about that, like relationships, jealousy, there's rivalries, and him kind of like still feeling tied to his neighborhood. And I'm not going to give it away, but he's still like involved in the neighborhood. His mom and his little brother still live there. And, you know, it also explores some heavier topics like systemic racism, gang violence, like some parts of it get a little heavy, but at the end of the day, it's still, you know, it's a CW high school show and it's about football. I love football shows. I love football movies. The cast is primarily Black, biracial. So we love a non-white high school show, and everybody is just unbelievably attractive. It's shocking.
You had me at Taye Diggs.
It's Taye Diggs. It is this one girl who's kind of, she's not even like supposed to be like the hottest, most popular girl in school, is like the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Like everybody's just, I mean, they're grown-ups playing high schoolers. It's not creepy, but like it's a really attractive cast. Okay. And it also deals with a lot of family dynamics and stuff. And there are just some really emotional moments. I mean, I cry all the time, but I have probably cried at more episodes than not. And on a more uplifting note, the music is fire. The music is so, so good. Such a good soundtrack. So obviously that's a plus too. I can't recommend enough. I love it so much. 2 seasons on Netflix.
Ashley loves the high school show. No one loves it more.
Obsessed. You guys are going to thank me.
All right. Well, there you go, guys. 2 fictional shows that are great. No doc recs from me this week.
Rayna.
I've been slipping. I've been having too much phone sex. I don't know.
You are literally on these streets. You guys, who knew when Rayna said I'm about to get back on the streets, she meant walking around having phone sex on the streets.
I will say though, I made a declaration a few months ago and I was like, I'm going to get back out there. I want to have tons of sex and I want a divorced guy. And I did all those things.
Damn.
I did all 3 of those things.
What an icon. Rayna, really though. You manifested the fuck out of your life. So proud. Okay.
Talking about upgrading men.
We're talking about let me upgrade you.
Tried to do this episode a few years ago.
Yeah. Whatever.
We're gonna do a better job together.
We're gonna just do me and you. We don't need a man for this.
I don't need a man for anything. I love
except for having phone sex on the street.
I'll have phone sex with you on the street. I don't fucking care.
We'll have phone sex with a wall.
See if I fucking care. I sent a sexy text this morning. I was so turned on by what I said that I masturbated.
I love it.
But I love this topic because I think women are like, can I change a man? Should I change a man? There's a million things that you can change about people that I would recommend trying. There's a million things I wouldn't recommend trying. So we're going to go through all of it. And I feel like I have like some really great examples from relationships I've been in, people I've tried to upgrade their whole life and their situations.
Yeah. I mean, it's supernatural for women to want to upgrade men. I think that our whole thing as women is you leave them better than you found them. That's what we do. We come in and we improve their lives, and then we let them go, or even they let us go, or we end up with them. And then we have this like new, improved partner. Like I think that it's like truly the circle of life, like women helping women. Like you are going to improve a guy for the next woman, and a woman right now is improving a guy for you. This is what we do. So just know that if you're out here improving a man while you're doing that, and if you guys break up, another woman is improving a man for you. So let's just think about it like that. It's the circle of life. Centennia. Like it truly is. Rayna, you know it's true.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as we get older, we get better, and we get better because the women that we date make us better.
We're going to get into like what is stuff that you are improving in like a positive way because you care about somebody, you love somebody, or it just happens naturally. Because I think a lot of this is just natural, and a lot of it is just like men want to be better, you know what I mean? Or they want to do these things, and they want to look better, feel better when they're with a woman. But I think when women kind of take men on as projects, I think there's this whole thing, you know, women want, not all women, of course, just the narrative of like women want to reform a bad boy. They want a man who's never loved before to love them. You know, you want to turn the nerdy guy into a hot guy. Like all that stuff is like, it can be appealing. It can be a challenge that somebody might want to do. And I think that some of it is age dependent. I don't know that a guy in his 30s should still be wearing cargo shorts and not processing his emotions. You know what I mean?
I just feel like as I've gotten older, I've cared less to do that. That's sort of like the blessing of dating as you get older. And I've said this before on the show, you know, when you date somebody that's like 22, 23, 24, there's a world of possibilities of who they're going to become. You're sort of shooting in the dark for who they're going to be. You can make educated decisions. Yeah. But I like dating in my mid 30s because you meet people that are a little more fully formed in terms of emotionally what they're capable of, professionally what they're capable of. I think it's nicer to date a little bit older because you can meet people that are fully formed, and then you can start dating people that you don't want to change.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you should look at somebody and ever really, I mean, at any age and think, oh, that person has potential and I want to change them. That should not be your first thought right out of the gate. Yeah, you could be like, God, he has bad shoes, but he makes me laugh and he can fuck and I'm going to see this through. But I bring age into it because I'm like, if you're young and you're 22, you're 25 and just have fun, girl, you know, like, I mean, whatever. If you're like, no, because I want to start having kids at 27, like live your truth, of course. But if you feel like you want to live a life a little bit more like you and I and date around, like maybe this isn't stuff that you're really worrying about. You're like, I'm having fun with this guy. Who cares if he's not Mr. Perfect or he needs a little help in some areas. Like we're young, we're having fun. But I mean, if you're in the point of like, you're looking for somebody to really settle down with and be committed with and potentially marry, whatever, I wouldn't look at somebody and think like, let me get in there and start changing stuff. Because I think that's a recipe for disaster.
Totally. I think there's a recipe to make somebody hate you and really resent you, which we can talk about later. But I feel like when I meet somebody today, I just say to myself, are my basic needs met by this person? Are there my 4 or 5 non-negotiables in terms of, you know, do we think about money the same way? Do we want the same long-term goals? Do we have fun together? Do I respect this person? Are they a nice person intellectually? Do I connect with them? Is the sex good? Things like that. But fundamentally, I don't want to date anybody that I want to change. I'm not looking for a project. I've never been the kind of girl that thought that was fun or a challenge. I've always believed somebody when they've told me who they were. Mm-hmm. I think I would have taken on a little bit more when I was younger, and you live and you learn and you grow up. And I've certainly dated people. I don't want to be like, you know, women change men. I've dated people that have made me better. Mm-hmm. Made me more empathetic, kinder.
100%. It goes both ways. Yeah.
So I think that I want to meet somebody that like, I know that I can make suggestions to help them improve, just like I'd want somebody to make suggestions, but I want to mostly meet a person who I'm okay with if nothing changes.
Mm-hmm. And I think one of the main things is like how they treat you. And that is like kind of above all, how they make you feel. Strip away everything else, strip away their clothes, their job, whatever it is. And how do they make you feel and treat you? Because I don't know. I think that women can have such a profound impact on men. I'm thinking of a friend that we have that her husband just wasn't really social, and he had some stuff to work on in terms of, I guess, I hate to say his personality, but bottom line is she got in there and she did some work but he always treated her right. You know what I mean? Like maybe he wasn't the best with other people, but I think she really dedicated some time and kind of turned him around for the best. We love him. We love them. But he was always good to her. You know what I mean? And they were them together was always solid in the relationship. So I say that to say there's really nothing that you can't change. But I mean, the stuff that needs to be there to begin with is how someone makes you feel and how someone treats you. And then, like you said, like long-term goals. If you really are in your later 20s, you're in your early 30s, like what kind of life do you want to live? Because by then you do kind of know.
I think in the hierarchy of things you can change that I would try to change, we'll talk about all of them, but like cosmetic things like clothing and skincare, no problem. Even somebody's like standing in life, the type of job they have, you can give people suggestions. You know, I've dated people that I'm older than, that I've probably professionally just been a little more experienced than them, and I give them suggestions. Emotionally is the last thing I want to take on if somebody just doesn't treat me well. Like, I don't want to constantly be moving the goalpost every single day. Can you be nicer? Can you be more affectionate? Can you be, can you be nice to my friends? Can you want to be a part of my life? Those things, I don't think that we should have to beg people to treat us kindly.
Never. And also, like, was this a person that like is a good person, but they like have trauma that they're taking out on you, which I have dealt with. Like, that's somebody that needs to go to therapy and work on themselves and then be in a relationship. You know what I mean? But we'll get into that. I mean, let's just start. I want to say one last thing. I think if you feel like you're a woman who always does this, who always wants to look at a guy that you really want, that like quote unquote damaged guy because you want to fix him, like you should explore that, and maybe you should explore that in therapy. So we always say that if it's a pattern that maybe isn't the healthiest, and you feel like I can't not find this guy that I want to turn around and change, then maybe you explore that and realize why you're doing that and work on that. So we'll leave it at that.
Okay, so let's just start with the easy stuff. We asked you guys what you want to change and how you've upgraded your partner. One of the number one things, we'll run through them later, but like really popped off about people's clothing, skincare routine, how they decorate their apartment,
bedding,
all the cosmetics, blue sheets, navy sheets.
I dated a guy. I think we were 2 weeks into dating, and I had slept over there one time drunk, and we were there in the daylight, and I said, I'm not sleeping here until we get you some new pillows. The pillows were probably from the 80s. They were brown on the inside. I was like, I will not lay my head on these pillows. We went to Target that day. Like, but that wasn't an insult because it's your fucking pillows. Who cares? I didn't look at your clothes and say, we need to change you before we date. Like, it feels different because I still think this all needs to be approached with like, I care about I don't know. I think, let's talk about it. I want to talk about how you can change a man's clothes because there's a strategy.
To me, there's a line between constantly roasting somebody, picking on them, picking a person and being like, I'm going to change everything about how you dress, and then just making some simple suggestions. Maybe you go shopping together all the time. I think that, I don't want to date a person at all that is just going to let me bulldoze them. And I think you can sniff that out right away. I mean, listen, if that's who you want to date, then date that person. It's not for me. But the kind of person that's going to let me be like, let's overhaul this whole thing, I don't even respect that person.
Never. No, like never look at somebody and make them feel like we need to make you over. Also, there's so many different levels of, if we were talking about a woman making over a man, there's so many different levels of that man's willingness. You know what I mean? Like, some guys are just sitting around waiting to be taken on as a project because they're like, I know I dress like shit. I look like shit. My hair looks like stupid. My nails are gross. My skin's gross. Like, waiting for those women to come along.
Right.
But some men really like the way they look, and it's insulting if you're like, we need to get you some new clothes. So I think that the approach is telling them when they look good. Always. It's always done with compliments. Like, that's how you get through to men, is like positive reinforcement instead of negative reinforcement, saying stuff like, you look so hot, you look so sexy, like letting them know that you thought they were hot and sexy before. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're wearing a short sleeve dress shirt. Oh my God, nothing will dry my pussy up faster. So tell them when you like them in just a regular black t-shirt. I have nailed this. Like, I would just pick those times when I felt like an ex of mine looked good and like really make them feel good about it. And then I think taking them shopping is really great because some guys really have no idea what they even look like in great fitting jeans, in the right types of shirt, the right type of shoes. I would always buy shoes for gifts, like for Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, like really like nice shoes. Like, I remember going shopping with a guy once, I think just at the Gap, and he was like, damn, I look good. I'm like, right. Like, why are you wearing a bootcut jean?
Okay, but sometimes you just like adopt like a homeless stray. Okay, he's been out of his mom's house for a long time. He's never had a long-term girlfriend. He's never lived with a woman. He just doesn't know what he's doing. You walk into some men's houses. My brother had a bookshelf that he was using as the only decor in his living room, and he had like a 20-inch television for his whole whole living room. And his wife like walked in there and just fixed it. Some men have never decorated their homes. They've never dressed themselves. And it's just like, they're open to you. They're open to it, 100%. I think the difference is like, are you emasculating somebody by doing this or not?
100%,
You know, are you telling them, I hate your bootcut jeans, you look stupid? I love what you said about just saying like, this is how you look sexy. Like I saw my guy in like a pair of joggers the other day and I was like, you look so hot. Do that more. Just wear that more. T-shirt, joggers every day.
Yes.
Love
like
it.
I remember a guy I was dating, like he just had on like a white T-shirt and I was like, you look sexy. Like he was good looking and he was like, this is like an undershirt. I'm like, you look good to me. Like you look sexy. You look like James Dean. Like you're just rocking like a T-shirt, like better than the polo you were wearing. Like I just feel like I had to always done gently, always with compliments. Like they'll start to pick up on it. I mean, like clothes and shoes, hair. I mean, you got a guy that's going to Supercuts, great clips, whatever, like recommend the great barber. I did that too. I've done a lot of this. Like there was this great hair salon, barbershop, whatever in Atlanta that was like just such a great experience for men.
An experience.
Like, men that have only gone to great clips, that you send them to one of those places where they do the shave and they make them feel pampered and there's like a pool table in the background, they're serving whiskey. Like they're going to be like, you changed my life.
100%. The hair situation is the first thing that you can change because you present an experience to them.
Present an experience.
Okay. And then the clothing should be the second easiest thing because you just keep telling them, you just cripple them with compliments about every single thing that they look good in. And like you should be building up your man all the time and or your partner, whether it's your female partner or male partner, whatever, however you identify. I think you should be building up your partner all the time so that when you make these suggestions, it's not like, God damn it, they're always fucking picking on me. It's just another fucking thing that they're saying.
Exactly.
You know, I think it should be done with kindness. The hardest thing I think when you're not living with a man is changing his like interior, like his decor. And
also don't do that too soon. Like don't dedicate a bunch of any of this. Don't go, just enjoy yourselves and who you are before each other came along for a minute, because you're providing a lot of value. Make sure you're getting it in return.
Stamp out your true self. Pretend to be agreeable.
No, I'm just saying, like, I want to make sure I like somebody, they like me back. We're both bringing value to each other's lives before I start getting in there and interior decorating.
I
the pillows thing, that had to happen soon.
I'm glad that you brought up how long to wait, because I think that like no one wants to hear from their new partner.
No.
I want you to start changing all this stuff because
Unless it's pillows.
Okay, well, I mean,
because you got to put your head on that.
I'm fucking there, okay?
Yes.
I mean, day one, I'm bringing up the pillows, but no one wants to feel like their partner is picking on them, and I don't think it's a good recipe. I think it sets up a really bad dynamic. If they just start letting you do that really early, then you just bulldoze them. If you bring this stuff up and they're like, fuck her, like she's already picking on me. I've known her for 5 minutes. Like,
yeah,
give it a minute, guys.
Yeah, I have a friend, they're friends, a couple, they are married. I can't even describe to you, Rayna. He is so well dressed. He is like a fashionista. He's a really attractive guy. I've never known him in not tailored clothing, great shoes, great hair, perfectly groomed at all times. And I'm friends with his wife, and when she shows photos of when they first started dating, you would be shocked. Baggy khakis, oversized polo, just nasty shoes, didn't know what he was doing. She got in there and like with love, and she made him realize how good he looked. You know what I mean? Like that's part of it. It's like, you're fucking hot. I want to fuck you no matter what, in those dad khakis and those cargo shorts. Cargo shorts came up a lot, but
a lot.
Let's show you how good you look.
Okay, there's nothing more than I love when a man starts telling you how their woman upgraded them, and he's like, she got me on a whole new train. Like, yeah. I love when a man loves that, because to me, that's like a confident man that he can laugh about it.
Yes.
He can laugh at himself. He thinks it's funny. He used to wear cargo shorts, and then you came in and changed his life.
Yes,
I gave him a skincare routine. There's nothing easier than buying gifts for somebody. It's loving. It's kind. If you just like improve somebody's life by buying them some fucking lotion.
I know. And a lot of that can just be done leading by example. Like I've had guys that were in the bathroom, you know, where first of all, you're flossing day one. I'll get in there day one and tell you that you're going to floss now.
I ask people day one, do you floss?
Yeah. And if you don't, you do now. So, but sometimes they're just like, what are you doing there? What do you like? One of my exes was like, what are you doing there? What's this toner? You know, like he was like, what are you wiping on your face with cotton balls? I'm like, do you want to try it? Like I was so slick with like, this will like make you feel great. His face tingled. He was like, every night he did toner. He has a full blown skincare routine now. Also, I always start with sunscreen. Do not come home from a little golf trip with your friends sunburnt. Grow up. I will text you, did you put sunscreen on? I will not have a man I'm dating be out here with a sunburn. Grow up. Brennan.
I could not care less if somebody gets a son.
I will
you know
tell
what?
you
I don't care. I know you do. You don't like it.
We were on a boat once. You were just face in the sun. I was like, Rayna,
You did. You snapped
don't
at
you
me.
come crying to me when you feel like you're aging, because I will bring this up.
I'm going to look 12 years old forever. I think that there is just nothing. Get them a subscription plan, sign them up for stuff, buy them gifts, lead by example. It's so easy to just like slowly give them better habits, and then their lives are better. They look better.
They like it.
Yes.
They never knew about a moisturizer.
They never knew about non-supercuts.
And there's so much stuff, like, it's really like Rob, for example. This is my best guy friend. I have a close friend of ours. Like, Rob wasn't super into all this stuff when he was in his 20s, I'm sure. But now he has like all those man products, and he's got all like the whatever Molson Brown, all that shit. He's got great hair products. Like, you get into it and you like taking care of yourself. My brother's the same way. Like, he just likes feeling good, taking care of himself. It's kind of fun to like get that stuff in the mail or whatever. They like that stuff too. I mean, if they absolutely don't, if this guy doesn't give a fuck, if he's like, I don't care what my clothes look like, I don't care about this stuff, please stop, then you need to take the hint and realize if that's somebody that you want to be with. Because some guys are like, I cannot tell you how little of a fuck I give. I'm like this rugged mountain man, and you need to stop like trying to change me. And then you do need to take a beat and be like, okay, this is a non-negotiable. Do I want to be with this person?
So I don't know at the end of the day that I would be like dying to date a man that didn't care about his appearance at all, didn't care about his home, the cleanliness of his home, the cleanliness of his teeth, the way that he smelled. Like, hygiene is something that personal hygiene and like the cleanliness of your home is very important to me. I don't care if you dumb decor and you posters around the house. I'll fix that in time. But yeah, that's probably not a person for me, because that's a person, honestly, that I don't think respects themselves in society. You know, you don't want to be clean. You don't want your home to be clean. Like, that's probably not my person. Girls, if it's your person, you don't give a shit, go off. But I like going over there, and it doesn't get my pussy all wet to go to somebody's apartment. It's disgusting. And the pillows are brown, they smell.
Right. And that can change a little bit, but like, if you really just, you don't care that you live in filth, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're really in the frat house, you're really like under 23, like you maybe get a little bit more of a pass. You like came from the frat house, now you live in an apartment, you guys party all the time. Like, it's going to be a little gross, but like if you're past that stage and you're living in filth, I don't think we're going to be a match.
I'm talking about men. Yeah. I'm not talking about like kids. Like, yeah, obviously also like when you're younger, you don't have money for things like a maid, like somebody to come over and clean. I'm not like judging that, but there's splatters all over the kitchen. You're not flossing. You're not brushing twice a day.
That toilet has the ring always.
Oh my God. If I go over to your bathroom and there is hair covering the sink, what are you doing?
What?
I mean, I'll make fun of you until you change that, but like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah.
How does it happen?
I
mean, I shave every part of my body, and nothing looks like that.
Well, you're in the shower when you do it.
Okay, there's no point. There's no excuse.
They go rogue.
Play like a champion.
They just are like in the bathroom, just hair everywhere.
They just see it go everywhere, and they're like, I'm just gonna leave this like it is. Like, what kind of animal? I don't understand it. Like, just take a paper towel. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it.
Let's talk about diet and exercise.
Lifestyle. Okay.
This is tricky because I feel like I have made mistakes with this before. Like, you can get them to eat healthier. I think you see that all the time. Men just naturally start eating a little bit healthier when they have a woman around. I've always heard that from guys. Like, I eat more vegetables now. I don't eat takeout every night. She cooks, yada, yada. Like, we cook together, and introducing them to like workout classes and stuff like that. But if someone just really has no interest, like, don't go down that road. You know what I mean? If you see someone that like eats like total garbage and they never work out, and you do, and that's important to you, fitness and health are important to you, it can work 100%, but don't go into it thinking like, I'm going to turn this guy around, because that can go bad.
I think for every one of these things, I think you got to ask yourself, do they want this?
Right.
Are they capable of this? And does this serve me or them? Because if the answer is like, no, they're not capable of it, and we'll talk about, finances and career and things like that. But if they don't care about the way they eat and their diet, what are you going to heckle a person for the rest of their lives? Like, that's probably just not your person.
Yeah. And I mean, I didn't really discover like group fitness classes till I was like later in my 20s, and that changed my whole life. So you can always change everything. You can change your diet, you can change your body, you can change your view on fitness and what you do for fit. It can always change, but it does have to be something you want to do. So I think you see that go wrong sometimes when you're like this woman, for example, is like, he eats like shit. I always find like McDonald's bags in his car, and he doesn't ever want to work out. It's like, he's going to have to want to do that. So just you're going to have to make that decision if you're like okay with it. I see this a lot. I see the diet thing a lot.
I do too. And I think that when I think about dating apps, I think we all try to like cast a wide net. When I see people's profiles, and it's like, I like to travel, I like to try new restaurants. And I think that people are trying to cast a wide net to find a lot of people. And I would suggest sort of doing the opposite. If there's a couple of things that are really important to you, if I like to stay home 5 nights a week, cook vegan food, and I love to bike on the weekends, like Rob loves to bike. If that is like your top thing, I think you should write that. And I think that like at the beginning stages, you should bring that up, because like for me personally, like I cook sometimes, but I'll like while out at a restaurant, and I'm probably not working out at, 10 a.m. these excursions every weekend. If that's something that somebody wants, I'm not your girl, and I don't want to be heckled about it.
Yeah, we 100%. Like we talked to Rob about that. Like that was on his list. Like we just keep bringing him up this whole episode. That he definitely wanted a woman that would cycle with him. He found one, and great. But I mean, it was kind of like he knew that's what he wanted. He knew it was a part of his life, and I think that it's tricky, because I do think that if you're really in a relationship, your kind of lifestyles can kind of meld together, and it can be really great. And you can talk to this guy, he was like, oh my God, I used to just be such a piece of shit, and this woman came along, and now I really enjoy being fit. I really enjoy being healthy. But if you're at like a standstill, don't just push somebody. It's just going to push them away.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. Sex.
I mean, we have a lot of episodes where we talk about, can you change your partner? I mean, I would absolutely suggest, not constantly bring it up, but always talking to your partner about what you like in bed, what you enjoy. I dated somebody who just wasn't a sexual person at all, and he communicated that to me, and I wasn't going to keep pushing him. Ultimately, I decided that wasn't my person. He wasn't like a huge initiator of sex. He didn't seem to really enjoy sex that much. There was only so many conversations I could have with that person where I said, I want you to have pleasure, and I want you to enjoy this, and I find you sexy, and I'm turned on by you, and how can we have a better sex life together before you just cut your losses, And I think the end of every one of these things is like, do I stick it out or I cut my losses? And the sex thing, you guys just might not be aligned sexually. We have a lot of episodes where we talk about that, and next week we will in depth. But for me, I would always try to make it better, suggest new things, bring toys into the mix, bring porn, talk about what you guys both enjoy, and frame it in like, I want us both to have a lot of fun. Yeah. If they can't, if they don't enjoy sex, if they shame you, sex, at least to me, is a pretty important part of a relationship, and it makes me feel close to somebody. If they're not going to do that for me, probably I'm out.
Right. I mean, all I got to say is like, if a man is good at sex, he knows what the fuck he's doing, he knows where the clit is, you better thank the woman before you. That's all I'm saying. That's what we're out here doing. We're just improving them for the next one. Like, yes, the guy that like I dated in college, at the end of college, like wasn't great at sex, but like by the year 5 of us kind of going back and forth, he'd improved for sure. He was like eating pussy like a champ. Like I could get him to talk a little bit. I mean, we were on and off all those years, but like, and there was another girl in the mix. Maybe she did some legwork for me, but like if you're really young, like you can learn together, but of course I co-sign everything you said, like, and we'll talk about this next week in depth with Ian Kerner. We can't wait for an episode. We have a sex episode for you guys. All I'm saying is like, yes, you can improve somebody's sex game if they're willing, if they're open, and if someone's good at sex, that's because the women before them taught them. I dated a comedian for a little bit here, and I saw a bit that he did that was very funny, how he was like, every woman, this isn't like a hot take, but like every woman like likes something different in bed. You're always just trying to learn, because like this girl likes getting choked, but the girl after her might not. So like guys are always constantly like learning, but hopefully when you are dating someone and you're older, and you're like, yeah, I like being choked, like they've already done it with somebody else that liked it. So like they know what they're doing because of a woman before.
All I need is a willingness to try in the bedroom. I just want somebody that's open to it, that's excited about my pleasure and their pleasure. And I can train somebody in the bedroom, no problem.
Yes. And every time, if you're a young woman and you're teaching a young guy how to find a clit, how to eat pussy, how to touch your vagina, you are doing the Lord's work, and you should pat yourself in the back, and someone else is going to benefit. If you don't end up with them, you're doing this for your sisters. I can't stress it enough. Circle of life.
Okay, for me, the hardest thing to change, the hardest thing to like decide when to walk away, et cetera, is emotional changes, whether you're trying to convince them to go to therapy or you're trying to convince them to be personally, emotionally different. And we've all dated that person where like, it really hurts to date them, but it also hurts to let them go. And you're like, I don't know which thing to focus on. Like, I will be in so much pain if I stay in this relationship and I keep trying and I keep batting my head against the wall, but the thought of losing them is so painful to me too. And I don't know, at the end of the day, I would rather cut my losses and deal with like short-term pain than long-term pain, because there's things that you can't ever change. And one thing I think about in terms of emotionally is like, if you're heckling your partner to be a different person emotionally, if you want them to be more, the person that I dated that was also not sexually that excited.
Yeah, you have a great example of that.
We talked about this in the love languages episode. He just wasn't like very like, there's not a lot of verbal affirmations. He never said he was proud of me. He's never said I looked pretty. He never said like, I appreciate these things you've done. And he will tell you we broke up because he didn't tell me I was pretty enough. But like, there was no verbal affirmations ever, and it got exhausting, and it made me start withholding verbal affirmations from him. And there was only so many times I could say to this person, I want you to try harder. I want you to be different, before you have to just like stop basing on a person
realize you're
all
not
the
a match.
Time. Right.
You're not a match with everybody. Like, you know?
Absolutely. And I don't think it's fair also to constantly tell somebody you're not enough and you're not good enough. And if somebody is not committed to being, I mean, if they're emotionally harming you, you know, that sucks and walk away. But if somebody's just not your person, like that's okay too. And I don't think that it's emotionally healthy for you to just keep trying to change a person. It's probably just not your person. If they're not committed to treating you kindly, or it's like you said, like if this person didn't, you said this, like you said it a few times over the years, like they didn't love me the way that I want to be loved. They didn't treat me the way I want to be treated. Then that's enough and enough of a reason to walk away, because there are billions of people in this world and probably someone else will love you.
Yeah, absolutely. The way you want to be.
Yeah.
I think there's such a spectrum of this. Like, it depends on what we're talking about. We can't give completely overarching advice for all of this. I mean, if someone has a lot of trauma that they need to deal with that is affecting them in such a deep way, or they are potentially taking out on you, this may be a situation in which they need to be on their own and deal with this before they enter into a relationship. That being said, if it's a person that you love so deeply, they love you back, there's a lot of good there, you can try it. You can try them going to therapy, I did this. I went to therapy, and my partner went to therapy at the same time in tandem. You can try. Like, I don't think you should throw away a relationship where there's a lot of love. Like, you can work on it inside the relationship. It may or may not work out, but the person has to be willing. Like, I mean, if you are out here screaming, banging your head against a wall, you need to go to therapy, and that person is resisting. Like, this is not a good situation. And so I just think maybe like that's ultimately maybe not be a match, and maybe it would be 5 years from now. But at that point, maybe this person has some work to do and they're not really willing to do it, and you might have to call it. And I think on the lighter side, if someone doesn't quote unquote need therapy, I think we can all benefit from therapy. Let me be like very clear. But if it's just some things like the love languages, for example, like maybe they never knew about that. Maybe they read it and it changes their life for the better. I had a ex read that book and it changed our whole relationship. He's the guy that I made the empanadas for, and he ate my pussy that night, like whatever. He read the book, or he skimmed it, but like we understood each other more. And so sometimes it's just a matter of opening their eyes, enlightening them, giving them an article or something to read, like just better communicating. Like, if you come across a guy that knows the love languages, thank his ex-girlfriend. I can't say it enough. Like, we're all, I'm going to stop saying it, but like that stuff, some of that stuff is really fixable and treatable, and it's just kind of fixable and treatable. Like, it's a disease, but like opening them up to things, you know, I think that we all benefit in relationships of our partner making us more empathetic. I remember being with somebody where my family was just like, you just seem kind of like happier and like more patient. Like, I've always been kind of like really more like an impatient kind of person. They said I seem more relaxed, you know, like people can just make you better by being in their presence. So there's just such a spectrum of it, but are they willing? Do they want to do this thing? And how deep is the quote unquote help you think that they need?
Absolutely. And I think that like the common thing to say is you can't change a person. I don't know that I believe that. I don't want to date somebody that fundamentally I need to or want to change them. But I think if you meet somebody and there's a lot of good here, the stuff about changing your sex lives, or just sort of like explaining to them what you need and seeing if they can give it to you. No one's a perfect person. You know, I want to meet somebody that's funny and smart and cool and fun, nice to my friends. And not every person's going to know exactly what you need and can read exactly inside of your mind what you want. And I think if there's a lot of good here and somebody wants to make you happy, I absolutely encourage you to have those discussions with somebody. And if somebody seems like they're going through a lot of trauma, there's nothing wrong with suggesting that they go to therapy, you know? I think that you should just know when to cut your losses. And I think it's painful to love somebody, like I said, and feel like, you know, leaving them would hurt and staying would hurt. But I would always encourage you to have the conversations. I don't think you can change a person at their core, but you can slowly explain to somebody, I need these things, and give them the opportunity to give them to you.
Absolutely. And again, like I said, are you banging your head against a wall? Are you trying so hard, like this and this, like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole? Like, give it up. You know, at what point, at some point, you know,
like I've seen girls that just need a little more emotionally from their boyfriends, and their boyfriends aren't going to do it. And I've watched them together, and I've watched them be disrespected and laughed at and sort of poked fun of by their boyfriends. And it's one thing if you say to somebody, I need to communicate differently, but it's another thing if they are never going to give you what you need emotionally, that's fine too. There are other people in this world that will.
And we saw a lot of responses. We'll get to these at the end of like, I got my, now husband into therapy. Like they're married now. They're doing great. This isn't somebody because you feel like someone has some trauma or they have some things to work on perhaps with a professional doesn't mean that it can't work out. You know what I mean? Like we're not all perfect. We're all works in progress. So I'm at the point again, like at my age where I'm really not seeking someone out. I want somebody that's done a little bit of work. You know what I mean?
Like my favorite example of that is Casey and Courtney, who we had on the show, who are now married a couple years ago. We had them on in the summertime, and they are a couple who talked about that they went to therapy to learn how to just communicate better. And they were like, there's a lot of love here. We're just not hearing each other. And they graduated from therapy and they're married now. And I think that like, if that's the issue, like they're just not hearing me, go to therapy. There's nothing wrong with suggesting it at all. Yeah. Especially if you're going to volunteer to go too.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like what is the issue here? And then do you want to go? We talked about this with Nedra. Like, do you need to pull the trigger first and go see like, work through this with somebody too? Like it doesn't hurt. If it's therapy's not the answer, there's an arsenal of information, podcasts, books to provide you information, you and your partner.
100%. One of the things I think, I had a really serious problem with this in a relationship, and it ultimately ended it. The hardest thing I think to change, because you can really insult somebody and you are really asking them to sort of fundamentally change who they are, is career and money and just sort of like the type of life they see for themselves. And, can you ask somebody to change jobs, make more money? How do you gently encourage them? Because that is probably the most emasculating, I think, to tell somebody like, you just don't have the type of career that I like. And I wouldn't date somebody at this age that didn't. I wouldn't date somebody today that like didn't have the lifestyle that I wanted them to have. And I read this great quote from Mark Manson, who was on our show years ago. So I want to credit him for it. But he said, you can't make somebody change. You can inspire them to change. You can educate them towards change. You can support them in their change, but you cannot make them change.
I love that.
I love it. And I thought that to give an example, the person I was engaged to just changed jobs like every 6 months. He was totally miserable all the time. He was depressed. He would find a job. It wouldn't work out. And I was constantly being like, okay, let's look for jobs. Let's write a resume. Let's write a cover letter. Let's talk about how to negotiate a salary. And I think he felt tremendously emasculated by it. I think I was suggesting that he maybe live a certain lifestyle that he didn't want to live. And it backfired tremendously on me, because even though it came from so much love and it came from me being older than him and just having more experience in that field, it just made him look at me and say, why is she trying to make me this person that I don't even want to be?
Right. He didn't want to.
Right.
I think you were trying to force it on him kind of.
Yeah, because he looked unhappy. And so I thought, here's this thing that makes me happy, and 9 to 5 makes me happy, and more money makes me happy, and career success. I think he just wanted to be a bartender. And that's what made him happy, is having a little bit of career stability, a flexible schedule. Didn't care about having money that much. And he didn't communicate that to me. And when he broke up with me, I remember he said to me, you tried to force me to do all these things and I failed at them, and it's your fault, because I never would have tried to do those things if it wasn't you. And that's not a person that's secure. That's a person who needs to go to therapy. That's a person that should have told you from day one, I'm not doing this. But it backfired really hard, because I was doing the work, and these were my dreams, not his. And it sucked for both of us. It was really painful.
Yeah. I love the quote about like, you can inspire someone to do the work. You can help them out. I mean, I think that like this stuff can just sometimes happen naturally in a relationship. I dated someone that once we started date, I feel like he wanted to be better, just, I was just there. I wasn't pushing. I wasn't doing anything. I think he naturally wanted to do more and be better and kind of grow up a little bit. And he did. And I helped a lot, and I was happy to do it. And my take on it was like, I thought that he was so brilliant and so talented. And like, I feel like maybe saw some stuff in him that maybe he didn't see. And a lot of that was just like building that person up that you care about, that you see in them, and like being willing to help, because that's your partner, and maybe like you're getting something out of it too. Like I've dated guys who were comedians and I've helped them out, but I felt like it was reciprocal. I felt like we're both helping each other with our jokes. We're doing this, we're doing that. Like, I don't want to give and not be getting anything in return. It doesn't need to be that I'm helping you with career stuff and I'm getting career stuff in return, but like feeling like the relationship is reciprocal and you're not just like giving and helping this person and lifting them up, and like, what are you getting out of it? My question is, are you feeling like if can this person do the stuff on your own and you're just helping, or are they leaning on you completely? You know what I mean? Like, are you just kind of like lifting them up, tweaking things here and there, lending your expertise if you have it, or do you feel like that the weight of their future is on your shoulders?
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying I felt like that, but that's the differentiator to me. Like, I thought this person was brilliant and hardworking and was willing to help him. I didn't feel like the weight of his future was on my shoulders, and that's the difference.
Yeah, because you shouldn't be responsible for somebody's actions, their emotions, their life going forward. I think you love somebody and you want to help them, and making suggestions of, hey, I did this thing, it worked really well, or I failed, here's how to do something different is different. They have to want the change to be their own. And so I want to make it clear to somebody, you know, I love you. I would love you no matter what the situation was. I started dating you in this situation. You can stay in this situation if you want. If you want to change, you've expressed to me you're unhappy, here's some things I might do. But I think that people need to make the change their own. And so I would take a little bit of time before I started doing it for them,
right,
or anything like that. I want somebody to want to change and be capable of that change. And then if it doesn't work out, not resent me because I've tried to push them into doing something that was none of my business to do to begin with.
Yeah. And Rayna and I have talked about doing a whole episode on this, on like, I mean, the working title is, what is it? How to not date a loser or something like that. We've talked about like, like, is this person just lacking like total ambition, work ethic, etc.? You know,
yes.
Or do they just not, they need a little push here and there, like whatever, because there are people who, no matter what you do, they just kind of want to bounce around. They just want to live a different type of lifestyle than you do. And that's no shade at all. Like we have a friend, for example, who was dating this guy, and you know, he was working in the service industry, and he liked that. And she asked him, like, what do you see for yourself? He was in his 30s, you know, this wasn't like he was out of college, you know, just working to pay the bills. And she was like, what do you see for yourself long-term? And he was like, I'll, you know, probably to work at the restaurant forever. You know, people work there. It's a well-known restaurant. People work there their whole lives till they're in their 60s. Totally honorable. This is not, it wasn't for her. You know, I think she wants somebody that has some big goals. She has big goals, and there were mismatches in other ways too, but she wants someone that wants to travel the world. And this was someone that was just like, no, you know, I don't really leave the state a lot. You know, I don't have a passport. I want to work at this restaurant forever. And I cannot stress this enough that, like, if that makes you happy, do it. But she had to decide, like, maybe that person isn't for me. They don't have the same type of like goals and dreams I do long term. So again, when you're young, it's a little bit different, but I mean, if this is someone that you're thinking about a long-term career and you are just like, I feel like I'm just like trying to mold them into this type of person that they may not be, like, you have to assess that on your own.
All right. Capability for sure. And I mean, the restaurant industry, and I've worked in restaurants my whole life. So I'm not hammering restaurants. Yeah. You know, it might just boil down to like, I don't want to date somebody that works nights and weekends. I want to travel. Right. I want to go to weddings and birthday parties. The person I'm talking about was a bartender. I went to every wedding alone, every holiday alone. I went to birthday parties alone. It sucked. I fucking hated it.
And he's married now to someone that obviously it works with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, live there. You know, it's just like, it's not always a match. And I mean, I've dated guys who had solid careers who had nothing to do with mine, and that felt great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really want to feel responsible to help someone in their career, and I don't want someone to feel like that about me. So I want to support them. I want to make them feel good about themselves. And if that naturally gets them going, I mean, I think that in a really solid relationship, when a really solid foundation, like, both people thrive. And so, you know, a beautiful relationship, like romantic relationship, can help both partners like really, really thrive. But it can go really badly when one person's pushing. And I mean, we're really kind of talking to the women here in hetero relationships, but this applies across the board. And I've seen so many men upgrade. I hate to say upgrade about women, men glow up their partners. Like, even in the clothing department, I know a couple that he just was like, she can't dress. She doesn't care about it. She's been an athlete her whole life. She's fucking gorgeous. Her body's hot. Just started picking out some clothes for her. She changed her whole wardrobe. She looks great. Stunning. Knockout. Can't say it enough. Like, the job stuff, I've seen that happen, but I've also seen it go badly too. We have a guy friend, super successful guy. He was dating this girl. He thought she was kind of a loser. She just quit her job. She moved into his place. He felt like she was kind of freeloading, and he kept trying. He kept sending her resume out. He kept really pushing her, and she didn't want to.
She didn't want to.
She ended up moving to Texas. I think she like works at, she's a trainer of some sort. Like, he kept trying to fit that square peg in that round hole. And I'm talking about that from the other side. It doesn't work no matter what.
Yep. And my advice to everybody of every gender, every sexuality is just pick somebody who fundamentally is who you want them to be. be. And so that it is not some huge project. And I think it is fine to ask in the first couple dates, do you want kids? Do you want to get married? You can ask somebody how they feel about money and where they want to live. And I would get these things out of the way early. You don't have to ask them in such a serious way. But, you know, all the things we talk about, things, if all you care about in life is marrying a rich man, then date a rich man. I don't date a waiter that you hope to God you can change their whole lives and turn them into the richest man in the world. You know, I think we should be picking people that fundamentally already live a life that we are proud to be with them. And if you improve them the way they can improve your life, great.
100%.
Thank you.
Now go off. And now let's talk about the thing I feel like everybody wants to discuss, the tragedy of you upgrade a man completely and he moves on and he leaves you and you break up and he dates somebody else.
Ashley will tell you it's a cycle of life.
It's a circle of life. Here, listen to this. So, okay. So this, Beyonce has a song about this, Ring the Alarm. If you guys are familiar, it's on the B-Day album, Ring the Alarm. It's a whole thing of like Beyonce seeing her man with this new girl and she's ringing the alarm. And one line is like, she going to profit everything I taught, you know, like I like read the lyrics. I mean, I know the lyrics like when the song comes on, but I was like, that's the line that stuck out to me. Like someone else is going to profit off everything that you did. It comes right after Upgrade You on the album. So the album is like the transition of Upgrade You to Ring the Alarm. So Beyonce literally outlines this on one of her greatest albums. Oh, they're all great.
I didn't realize this.
Yeah, I know.
Of course you know. Of course you knew about the progression of the album.
Of course I knew Upgrade You, obviously. And of course I knew Ring the Alarm. But I was like, I had an inkling this morning that they were back to back on B-Day. And sure enough, so Beyonce's dealt with this. Listen, if Beyonce's dealt with this.
I will tell you my experience with this is that my man that I was talking about who like, you know, he didn't give me any verbal affirmations and things like that. He just wasn't the right match for me. We stayed friends and him and I were talking about his current girlfriend. He was like, you know, I remembered about what you said that I didn't give any verbal affirmations and I do try to tell her that she's pretty and I'm proud of her. And it was nice for me to hear, honestly, that like he took those things that I asked of him and actually identified that it was a pattern and a problem and was trying to make it better. Because I mean, I guess ultimately he wasn't a good match for me. So I don't feel so devastated and heartbroken. Like I am almost like glad that I like gave him some tools to be better in the next relationship because that wasn't my person.
And he's a nice guy. You're friends with him still. You know what I mean? I mean, I just think that naturally women upgrade men. I mean, it goes both ways, but we've talked about that mostly here, like just by nature, whether they mean to or not. I think it naturally happens and naturally breakups happen. So this situation is going to happen all the fucking time. And if you really turn someone's life around, turn them into a quote unquote better person and they break up with you and find somebody else, it fucking sucks. But Beyonce's dealt with it and she made songs about it and she's fine. And so like,
that's Ashley's advice.
I feel like I really did help turn someone's life around in every aspect. And we broke up and I would say, I mean, we broke up a million times. Like I would say the finality of it was me, I guess, breaking up, whatever. I can just say it was a mutual breakup, but I don't regret it. I mean, this isn't even someone I speak to this day, but like, I don't regret it. That was someone I loved and cared about. I'm not like, I changed his life and now he's with someone else. I'm sure she's a great person and you're welcome, sis.
Like,
you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Listen, I think he'd be disappointed to be like, I got him new clothing and I helped him get a new job and I encouraged him, but I would try to remember all the reasons you guys broke up. And I promise you, it's probably not just the couple things that you had to change about him. Like maybe you guys are a bad match. Like this guy I'm talking about, we're a bad match for 15 different reasons. It wasn't just a couple emotional things. And so, yeah, I think I changed him emotionally and gave him some tools, but like ultimately there was a million reasons why we broke up. And even if he fixed a couple of those things, I still wouldn't be with him.
Right. And if you're doing this stuff and you feel like you're really getting in there and you're glowing this guy up and you're upgrading him, again, like I said, don't do this right out of the gate. Like feel secure. You feel like you're getting something in return. Like if you feel like you're changing a man's life, like hopefully he's changing yours for the better too. Why is this one-sided in the first place? I mean, the ex that I'm speaking of, I feel like he changed my life too.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like he's responsible for a multitude of things. I don't need to go down that road, but like, I feel like it was reciprocal. Like even though there was toxicity there and some, you know, ugly breakups, like we both came out of that way better people. He sent me a text long after we'd broken up and said, you have been the most impactful person in my entire life. And I was like, you've obviously impacted my life for the better too. So look at that way too. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't be in a relationship where you're not getting anything out of it and they're not making you a better person, but somehow you're changing their life. What the fuck is that?
Right. They're a project and you get nothing out of it. Did you have fun?
You're not a perfect person.
You're totally right.
None of us are.
You're totally right. Every relationship, we should grow from it and we should come out being a different person. And like you grow up and you change. And it's like, I don't know, you helped that person, they helped you a little bit and we move on.
Right. Like, oh, you changed his genes, but maybe he gave you more empathy. So he did more for you. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've gotten out of relationships where I always reference this one guy. And I mean, clearly I still had a lot of work to do after him, but I mean, he broke up with me. I think I was like 27 and he said some shit that was hard to hear about kind of the way that he felt in our relationship, the way I made him feel, some of the things I did. And I was like, God bless that guy. I'm so much better for the next one, you know? And sometimes women feel like we leave men better than we found them, and the opposite, you know, men kind of wreck women, and that can be true too. But at the end of the day, like, we all learn something. I think we're always better for it.
I think that you're right. Also, like a romantic partner can change you in a way that a friend never will, a family member never will. They can say things to you that they know you in a different way, you know? And so hopefully you took something good from that relationship. And Ashley and I always say, if you're like so mad after a breakup, we always say like, make a pros and cons list, look at the cons, and just remember those bad things and why you guys aren't together anymore. And move on.
And I think that more than anything, now we're going down a totally different path, but fuck it while we're here. Like, I think that women are so good at creating out of heartbreak. Like, what's the quote is take your broken heart, turn it into art. And I think like we wouldn't have this podcast without the breakups. We wouldn't have Thank You Next without Ariana and Pete. Like we wouldn't have B-Day without Beyonce and whatever. Like the women take the stuff and they turn it around and they make it positive for themselves. And like, we always have those guys to thank for it. So yeah, they dress better, but like we're fucking successful and
built
rich.
This podcast on their fucking backs.
We built this podcast on their backs
all the time.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you guys. My ex is married to somebody and I thank him every day in my dreams for leaving me.
My God.
I did want to, we are going to do like a really fun listener submission game. I want to suggest 2 more episodes for you guys to check out because people did say stuff about, can you change somebody's friends? And like, what if I just hate their hobbies and shit like that? So there's 2 episodes Ashley and I like a lot. What About Their Friends was from April 2018 where we just talk about like your man's friends. And Are We Too Different from June 2020.
Oh yeah, Are We Too Different? That's a great one to reference.
That was a great one. So like that was more about like if we have different lifestyles, hobbies, views on politics, views on religion, can I change that? And then years ago, we also did one, I didn't write it down, about drinking habits and things like that,
yeah,
which we can
habits.
we can revisit.
That was early on in 2018 too. Yeah. And the politics, like we did address on Are We Too Different? But that we see that happen all the time too. Like all you need there is like open-mindedness. You know what I mean? If you're dating someone that never really thought about some of these things in the world and they're willing to sit down and watch the 13th, or they're really willing to read these articles, like we saw a lot of that, and that's just nothing but positivity. And you're both willing to like talk about this stuff together. And it's about being an open-minded person. If you have someone that's absolutely not willing to look at the world in a different way and they shut you down, like maybe that's not your person either. But we saw a lot of like, I've helped him see the world in a different way, which is great.
Yeah. So, in closing, just find somebody that's open-minded to, being a stronger unit together.
So you can literally mold them into the person. I'm just kidding. Okay. So we asked our followers on Instagram, how did you upgrade someone? They were overwhelming number of responses, but they were just so great. I'm going to just run through a few of these. All right. I bought him oven mitts because he used Nike socks before. What did he have? 4th degree burns on his hand. Like, can you imagine pulling out a hot pan and a sock?
This is my favorite. Like, you go to a man's apartment and like, what the fuck is in there?
It's so crazy because the next girl that guy dates is going to be like, his oven mitt game is fucking tight.
I mean, my 73-year-old dad uses like old t-shirts to take stuff out of the oven.
Okay. His credit score, I helped get it to 700. A year later, he proposed with a ring that was fully paid off. I love that. Okay. Got him to finally start brushing his teeth twice a day. That's what I'm doing with Azul. It says, LOL, does making him buy a bed frame count? I cannot stress enough upgrading the whole bed situation. Get in there. Got his ass to go to therapy, all caps. Another girl says, I gave him Angela Davis books and made this Georgia boy wildly progressive. Just like we said, it can happen. Skincare, boy wasn't even using moisturizer before me. Amen. Some of them don't even know what that is. She says, I took his V card, fully upgraded his dick game and changed his entire wardrobe and redecorated throughout 90% of his stuff and then moved in. Is that not Hannah Berner and Des? On our Hannah and Des episode. I got a
dumpster and he was like, that is not what happened.
He's like, I'm an adult, Hannah. I didn't have posters on the wall.
You've been in my Hamptons house.
Yeah.
Where were you living with your mom?
I was like, we got a dumpster outside that Hamptons house. Okay. Do you want to do some?
Yeah. Eyebrows, clothes, personality. Mama always told me to leave them better than I found them.
What did she change about his personality though? I'd love to know.
This finally got a 26-year-old to stop getting bowl cuts. I'm a saint for dating bowl cut guy. I know.
That is so true. Like some guy is out there with like a bowl cut or a butt cut and no one's like helping him out.
And she still fucked him. What an angel. It's like a Make-A-Wish Foundation project. Showed him what a clitoris is, and I don't think there's a better upgrade to be had. Yeah, show him how to get you off. Yeah. Okay. Introduced him to a world of restaurants that are not chains and got his ass a passport.
I love that.
Got him to stop skipping leg day. She's like, I like your body, but I hate your legs. He didn't even have furniture in the house when I met him.
I just pictured the friend. Didn't they sit on Friends? They had a canoe.
I forgot about that.
I went to a guy's house. He had a canoe.
I mean,
in the canoe in the living room.
That doesn't shock me. How many guys you go over there? They have like bleacher seats in the living room. They still have like a trundle bed,
folding tailgate chairs.
But in the office, Steve Carell, he's like, "How do women feel about a futon?" Okay, and then finally got him to separate shampoo, conditioner, and body wash instead of 3-in-1.
Listen, if you're a guy that uses a 3-in-1, go off.
I didn't even know that existed. 3-in-1.
It's for everything. You know, I called the J&J vaccine. That's the 3-in-1 for men. Like, because so many men, like, it started with Corey's husband. She was like, Ham insists on getting the J&J because he only wants to go once. I'm like, that is the all-in-one body wash for men is the J&J vaccine. They're like, I'm only going once. I can't be out here getting 2 shots.
You want to take us out with these last ones?
Okay. Oh my gosh. Added a second pillow to his bed. Still waiting on a thank you from his new girlfriend. She thanks you. We trust us on that. Bedding, kitchen dishes, utensils, a library, and a dop kit because he was using Ziploc bags for toiletries. At least he was putting them in something. I have traveled with guys. They just throw it in the bag.
That is crazy. You cannot date that person. That person's life is a mess.
I went on a trip with an ex. He had his laptop in his duffel bag that he checked.
No.
Raw dog, no case. He threw his laptop in his bag and checked
that
it.
That person doesn't care about nothing. You cannot date that person.
That person got the J&J. Okay. All right. Oh, the cargo shorts came up so much, you guys. Like overwhelmingly. Cargo shorts, jorts, dad sandals, Walmart jeans, shorts 5 inches below his knees, flip-flops, cat shirts, swim trunks, free band t-shirts, all gone. Was that all one person?
No, it was
you did a compilation.
List of women.
We have our other friend Corey. I have 2 like close girlfriends named Corey. Her now husband used to wear jorts. Like, actually, no, I think he wore them once and we never let her forget it. Like, he wore them in 2005, but he did like them. And she said she kept trying to hide them and he would catch her. And he's like, I see what you're trying to do.
You're in a jort.
Matt Hasseltine can pull off a jort.
Matt Hasseltine is 6'20". He can pull off anything he wants.
Okay. And then the last one, she says, I upgraded his whole life just by being in it.
Go off, girl. And then this next set actually surprised me because I didn't think people would interpret it like this. And I'm so glad they did about how they upgraded for themselves. So ex was living with his mom. New bae just bought a house. First guy wouldn't eat pussy. New guy feasts.
Yes.
I love these 2 height themed ones. Went from 5'4" to 6'4", a whole foot of upgrade, baby.
I love it.
And because Ashley and I are not heightists, and neither are our audience, upgraded from a 6'4" douchebag athlete to a 5'8" king that loves me more than life.
She's like, I physically downgraded, but I upgraded in general. I love when you guys talk about a short king. I love like memes about short kings. Like, you got a really funny. I love to see it. Okay. Oh God. Okay. Upgraded from the younger brother to the older brother and better dick. I don't know if I recommend it.
Christmas is awkward.
Okay. From a boy who didn't know how to make me come to a man that doesn't stop until I squirt. Okay. Wow. My ex was a short white dude who
who did like upholstery for church benches.
Oh, I didn't know how to read it.
I had to read it a few times too. It made me laugh.
So he did like upholstery for church benches and literally wore jerseys every day. Is that what you wear to upholstered church benches?
Apparently.
He's like Kobe. R.I.P. though. And my boyfriend now is a tall, black, and handsome man who is an air traffic controller from Miami and treats me like a queen. He's perfect. I have seen a good-looking air traffic controller on my Hinge before. I love to see it. They can work those arms. They're like, get going.
You know why I'm so proud of our audience? I'm always fucking proud of them. It's like they read this and they were like, I'm not trying to upgrade a man. I will also upgrade for myself.
Yes.
And so we love when you guys know when to work on somebody and try to make your lives better, and then when to just cut your fucking losses and run.
To let me say it, throw the whole man out.
Throw the whole man out. That's part of the life cycle too.
Throw him out. Let some other girl dig through the trash.
Let's play that game one week. Throw the whole man out.
Yeah, that's not an original. That was one from one of our listeners on our episode, Dating as a Woman of Color. And she just said all these things about throw the whole man out. So, okay. Well, either way, thank you guys for your input.
Yeah, we love you guys. You're all brilliant queens.
We hope you enjoyed Brilliant Queens, Short Kings.
Get yourself a short king.
No, a short king can eat pussy. I feel like that's across the board.
But what else were they doing growing up? They weren't getting pussy.
Learning how to eat pussy.
Yeah.
Some guy's like, God damn it, everyone's hitting a growth spurt. I'm 5'2".
He's like, I'm already down by it.
I gotta get a book on cunnilingus. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys. That is it for this episode. You guys know where to find everything you need on us, and that's at girlsgoteatpodcast.com. Tampa and Orlando, where we'll see you this week. We can't wait. Follow us on Instagram, Girls Gotta Eat Podcast. Follow Rayna at Rayna.Greenberg. Follow me at Ash Hess. We are girls_gotta eat on Twitter and youtube.com/girlsgottaeat. And we'll see you next Monday.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye.